Hi YouTube, it's Eternal Hello Cosplay, aka Lee, and welcome back to a new video. Making two separate cosplays for two separate vlogs is gonna get confusing for me, so why not just make it one? Hi Vlog Nation, it is Editing Lee here. I just wanted to jump in and say there's going to be quite a few clips in here of me talking about making two cosplays. Ignore that. I'm only making Mark for this video, but I got halfway through the video and realized that I'm not going to have enough time to make the second one. But the clips were already filmed, so I can't just edit them out because then there will be no clips talking about Mark because I'm talking about both of them. But I just want to let you guys know I'm only making Mark for this video. I'm not making Eva from Wakfu. So both of these cosplays have to be done by next Friday, and guess what? Today is Saturday. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Technically, I have 5 days to make two cosplays from scratch. Oh, and I also have work. So we gotta lock in, because it is currently 12:48, almost 1, and I have work at 4. I have to make boot covers for Ennard for Kate because she's doing Ennard for the Soonercon cosplay contest and she needs boot covers to put wires on them. So we're going to start off by making those boot covers really quickly. I'm going to do Ennard boot covers, baseline for Mark, and then I'm going to start patterning the bodysuit for Ava. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started before I have to go to work. Okay, so for the past 2 hours, I have been watching tutorials for how to make boot covers and watching queso at the same time, but I have the, where is it? I have the duct tape, and I have the saran wrap over here on my windowsill. We are going to make the boot covers when I get back from work. Right now, it is 45, so I have to go to work right now. What up, Vlog Nation? I just got off work, so let's go home and let's sew. Okay, so this is my first time using the voiceover feature in a vlog, and I'm very excited about that because I've never done that before. And I feel like I'm one of the millions of sewing vloggers out there. So for this part, I put on the boot, and I covered it in saran wrap, and then I covered it in duct tape, so that way I could have a pattern to put on the fabric so I could sew it together. However, I ended up changing this pattern anyway because the toe part did not cover the front of the toes. So I ended up adding more strips of fabric, which you will find out later on how I did that. But I cut off the pattern that I made. I'm going to make 2 of these, and then I'm going to move on to Mark. The faster I get them done, the faster I can work on the cosplays that actually need to get done for this vlog. Good morning, Vlog Nation. It is currently 8 o'clock in the morning. Right now, I am making front parts of the boot covers, because I got a text last night from Kate saying she wanted me to extend them just a little bit. So I put the boot back on and I made this new cover, and we are actually gonna do this right now before I have to go to work. Let's go. So this part was actually really easy because it was literally only 2 parts that I had to sew together. So what I did was I just laid them flat, pinned them, I cut them out. I added a little strip so that way I could sew it later, and so that way it'll bend around the toe. There's literally nothing I could talk about over the voiceover about that because it speaks for itself. But it did end up fitting. So we ended up getting it and then sewing it on the actual boot cover, and it doesn't really matter how messy it looks. That's what was my mindset for this because it was going to get covered in gray paint and wires anyway. Which definitely helped a lot because it did end up looking only a little messy, but you can't even tell. At this point on, my machine broke. Okay, I am probably going to pause here because something is wrong with my machine and I can't figure it out. Okay, so I looked it up and it is telling me that there's something jammed in the machine. I'm gonna take apart my machine and get this thread out of there so we can keep moving forward because I have work very soon. Hi Vlog Nation, I am back from work. It is currently 7:44. I am gonna start working on Mark. Let's frickin' go. So I did end up finding what was wrong with my machine. The thing that was holding my bobbin was loose, and so the thread was wrapping around that and it was tangling it. But Right now, we are working on Mark's boot covers, which I did end up making a second pair because the other ones were too small. So I laid the pattern on the fabric, and then I cut out the fabric, and now what I'm doing is an invisible zipper where I sew it like folded the wrong way. So that way when I fold it inward, it's got that like wrap of fabric so it looks like the zipper is really small and you can't even tell it's there. If you really look hard enough, obviously there's a zipper, but it's an invisible zipper stitch, so it's made to look like the zipper is as tiny as possible. And then now I am hemming the bottom and the top, so that way there is no fraying, because that would frickin' suck. Which the suit did not even fray all that much anyway when being worn, so thank God. Okay, so I hemmed it and I trimmed up the zipper, so what I'm gonna do right now is put this boot back on, because this is the boot that Kate's wearing for Mark. Okay, I'm gonna put this boot on, and then we're gonna see if this boot cover will fit over the shoe, which this is looking more promising, because this compared to that, it's pretty crazy. Easy as freaking pie, dude. And would you freaking look at that? It fits like a glove. Obviously, this is gonna get, there we go. It'll be better when the elastic is attached, but I say this is a freaking W for the first time making a boot cover ever. Now, we're gonna make 2 of these. Good morning, Vlog Nation. It is 11 o'clock. I did sleep in. I did snooze my alarm. Okay, so update. I started working on the yellow pieces, and I cut it down the middle for the zipper, but I'm gonna go ahead and start a time lapse of me sewing this. I want to get as much as Mark done as possible, because for Mark, I already have the bodysuit. I'm just adding the accessories to it, but for Eva, I have to make a bodysuit from scratch. So I want to get Mark done as quick as possible, so we're gonna do that. So while I'm editing, I'm realizing that throughout the video, I'm saying Ava and Eva. It's pronounced Ava, but it's spelt like Eva. So, whatever. But here, what I have done is I have taken the edges of the yellow pieces and I've folded them over, and I'm sewing as close to that edge as possible, so that way it gets sewn into the suit while folded over to prevent fraying. Okay, so I got this done. So we're gonna try it on, and I'm gonna be quick about this because I have music playing and I'm not trying to get copyrighted. Okay, Vlog Nation. So this is what I have so far. I have half of it on. The boot covers are obviously done. Okay, guys, I just got off work, so let's frickin' sew some more. So what I'm doing here is the same exact thing from earlier, except I'm doing it with the other side now, which, let me just say, sewing this suit with the zipper in the way was kind of annoying. So there's a slight pucker on this side, but it's really not noticeable, and I really don't think that you can even tell, so it literally doesn't bother me at all. But sewing really close to a zipper, guys, is a lot harder than people say it is. If they say it's easy, they're lying. Alright, I just got the yellow part done. I still need to make the gloves, obviously, but I will do that later. I need to take pictures for the build book, and every time I vlog, I don't take pictures. So, next time you see me, all the yellow bits will be done, obviously besides the gloves, like I said. So, okay, so I run into a slight issue with Mark's gloves because this fabric that I've been using is not stretchy fabric, which I totally knew by this point. I just didn't clock it for the gloves. But I made it large enough to fit my hands, right? Wrong. I cut it so that way it fits properly, but also because it's not stretchy fabric, I can't just slip my hand into there. So I'm lost. Hey guys, Editing Lee here. I just want to say huge shout out to the Spacecraft Discord, because I sent a message in there right after taking this clip, and I was like, hey guys, I'm lost, what do I do? And I got so many people telling me to try gussets, so I tried it and it worked, which I never actually ended up finishing the gloves, but I do have clips of making a mock-up that I will include just snippets of, since I never finished making the gloves. But Huge shout out to the Spacecraft Discord. You guys are freaking amazing. I love all of you guys so much. So we are going to make a mock-up using this pattern, and we're going to see if this pattern works out. Mock-up update number 2. It's being held together by pins because my bobbin came undone a little bit, but we have some non-stretchy gloves. I got a total of 2.5 hours of sleep, but it is worth it because this cosplay is almost done. So let me explain what I did. What I did was I cut 2 pieces like this, and I sewn them together, and I sewn them together, and I left a tiny little hole so that way I could flip it inside out. I'm actually not mad at this at all, honestly. Okay, I feel like now is a good time to jump in because I didn't really film a lot of the blue pieces of the suit. However, they were sewn on the same exact way as the yellow one, and I have these pictures right here that I'll put up on the screen of me patterning it and sewing it. So, there's that. So what I need to do now is sew this one, and then the suit is technically done. So, I think that now is a great time to go ahead and stop vlogging, and then I will just show you guys the finished product. Okay, so I never got an actual close-up video of Kate wearing it, but I might sometime soon and just edit it into the vlog later. But until then, I just have this clip of Kate making a TikTok with Carly. But the suit ended up looking really great, and I'm very proud of it. Thank you guys for joining me on this journey. And now I'm going to give it away to Lee, who's going to do the outro. Alright, welcome back, Vlog Nation. So, that was this video. As I said, I had so much fun doing this. I want to do more videos like this where I sew and stuff. But I'm talking a lot, so let's go ahead and get this vlog done and over with. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up and comment down below letting me know that you liked this video so I can do more sewing videos like this in the future. But without further ado, thank you so much for watching. Bye, YouTube! Okay, go!
Yeah, let's do it. Oh!